Hello and welcome to Heroes 101. I'm Commander Chu, and today I'm going to be talking about Rehgar, the support character from World of Warcraft in Heroes of the Storm. I'm going to be covering playstyle, tips and tricks, when you should draft him, talent options, and just some other stuff. Whoa. Before I do that, if I can get my words out right, I just want to give a quick shout out to our producers. Let me just pull them up here. Bradley Falk, Eric Talent Jr., Nick Barnhart, Michael Milia, and Kieran Hodnett, as well as the rest of our patrons at patreon.com for making this coaching series possible. You are all the absolute best, and just be sure to check your emails because I'm going to be sending you the full MP3 of this session. So it is now, let's see, 5:12 p.m. We've got an hour, and yeah, let's jump right into it. So obviously, I'll be talking about Rehgar right here. So I guess first I'll just go over his abilities. So his Q is his main source of healing. Well, actually, is primary source of healing. You can heal an ally with a wave healing for 334 health. The wave then bounces 2 times to nearby allies within 8 range, restoring health to them, which is about half of the initial target. Your W is where your AoE damage comes in. Imbue an ally with lightning, dealing 730 not 700, 70 damage. Oh my gosh. 70 damage to his second. Oh my goodness. Sorry guys, I just came from work. 70 damage a second to nearby enemies, and that lasts 5 seconds. So you just multiply 70 by 5. That's the maximum potential damage you can do to one target. Next is Earthbind Totem, which is his E. Create a totem that slows nearby enemies by 35%. This totem has 217 health and lasts for 8 seconds. And let's go over his traits. So instead of using him out, Rehgar can transform into a Ghost Wolf with 20% increased movement speed. Basic attacks in this Ghost Wolf form cause him to lunge at his target and deal 75% bonus damage. Dealing damage using abilities and channeling cancels out the Ghost Wolf form. So let's say you are in the Ghost Wolf form, moving along. If you want to put down an Earthbind Totem, it'll automatically bring you out of it. His his heroic options are Ancestral Healing and Bloodlust. So Ancestral Healing is basically a huge burst heal. After 1 second, heal an allied hero for 1,552 health. Bloodlust grants nearby heroes 40% attack speed, 25% movement speed, and causes them to heal for 30% of basic attack damage done to the primary target, and that lasts for 8 seconds. So, basically, Rehgar is, you can think of him as kind of an AoE healer. Although his heal isn't an actual AoE thing, since it bounces to multiple targets, I just consider it an AoE healing. One of the unique things about Rehgar is he's able to lane extraordinarily well compared to a lot of the other supports. So let's just look at the support options here. Uther, Malfern, Timorous. Yeah, I'd say none of these heroes beat Rehgar in terms of clearing lane. Tassadar can do it pretty decently well. Brightwing can be pretty okay. But I'd say out of all these supports, Rehgar has one of the best wave clear, which is a huge advantage if you're thinking about rotations on a map and the early game. And that is one of the reasons why Rehgar is so strong in the early game, because he can clear waves by himself or he can do it with allies. And actually, I am going to pull up my iPad here on the screen so you guys can kind of see. All right, and I'm just going to demonstrate how you should be clearing waves with Rehgar if I can get my iPad to work. Okay, cool. Let's see. All right, great. Oops. Make sure you can see this. All right. So let's say you have left, right. Excuse my lazy handwriting. So if you got 3 foot soldiers in the front and 3 archers, right? Same thing. Actually, I don't need to draw the enemy side. Whatever. Let's just say you're attacking the right side. Okay. So there are multiple ways that you can clear a wave. If you're not in a rush at all, and if you're low mana, you just auto attack, the wizard minion first, pretty standard, then move on to the archer minions. But if you want to clear it the fastest possible, what you're going to do is while you're in ghost form, you're going to lunge. I would lunge at this archer right here. So you just go straight to the back of the minion wave. Plop your Earthbind Totem here. I don't know. I don't know what I want to draw for that. Something like that. Okay. You're gonna plop your Earthbind Totem here. Put the Lightning Shield on the Earthbind Totem, and then just take turns auto attacking each minion. And I forgot to mention this previously, but take Lightning Bond at level 1. Here, let me pull HOTS back up. Let's see. All right, there's Rehgar at level 1. Almost always be taking Lightning Bond. I mean, the other talents are good. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, you can definitely take Wolf Run. That bonus speed is really nice. Increasing Lightning Shield radius works really well with certain builds, and the totem area range is actually really good when you combo with level 16. But if you're gonna take any of those talents, I feel like you're kind of losing out on Rehgar's potential and what you could be doing with Rehgar. Lightning Bond just totally maximizes the utility and the damage that Rehgar brings to team fights, to laning, and to camping. So just gonna be assuming that we're gonna be taking Lightning Bond at level 1. All right. So anyways, let's go back to the iPad. All right. Cool. So drop the totem right here, and then you're going to cast your lightning shield on that totem, right? And it's important that you have the totem near the center, because the cluster of the minions will be just about the radius of your basic lightning shield, and that's going to do damage to all of them. And as you cast lightning shield onto that totem, it's going to self cast on you with that lightning bond 1 talent. So in this way you can clear waves extremely quickly. I would actually recommend you attack the foot soldiers first, just because they have more health. So I would, like, for example, auto attack top one, auto attack the second one, then auto attack the third one, and then just rotate around. Don't bother attacking the wizard minion, because that's just gonna die on its own from the damage from lightning bond, because you basically have 2 lightning shields going on at the same time, right? You got the one that's going on you and the one that's on the totem. So that's obviously a not very mana efficient way, because you are using up 2 spells. But that is just the fastest way. Fastest way you can clear waves with Rehgar. Now, a more mana efficient way to do it. Come on, undo. All right, cool. So let's say you're coming from this way, right? What you're gonna want to do is you're gonna first lunge, but you're gonna lunge at the wizard minion instead. So this is the more mana efficient. It's slightly slower, but you'll still clear a wave pretty quickly. You're gonna cast your lightning bond or your lightning shield on your ally minion wave. So I guess that's something that most people don't realize, is you can cast lightning shield onto your totem, onto a minion, and that kind of stuff. I don't know if you can cast it on mercenaries. I've never needed to do that before. Uh, but you could probably cast it on like a bruiser mercenary. I don't know. But anyways, you're gonna lunge at that wizard minion, cast your lightning bond on your ally front center foot soldier minion, and you're gonna just auto attack the wizard while attacking the back line. So the archers. Now, what this is gonna happen is, like, you're gonna have your lightning shield right here, right? From the minion. So that's going to damage the front 3 foot soldiers, while you are at the center and you have your own lightning shield. So your lightning shield will be damaging the wizard and the back archers, but the second lightning shield that's on your minion is only going to hit the enemy wave, these 3. So it'll still clear. Sorry, my headset just turned off. So you'll still clear the wave pretty quickly. This is a really good option if you're low on mana, or if there's an objective popping up and you need to clear a wave quickly. That is what I would recommend. It's a slightly different story when the minions are all in a row, like if they're on the path and they haven't stopped for anything. So let me just clear this up. Okay. So let's say the minions are. Let's make the wizard a star, and then make the archers triangles. All right, cool. So let's say you're coming from this side, right? You're Rehgar. What you're gonna want to do, lunge straight for the wizard minion. Now the wizard minion actually has the lowest health and the lowest damage of the minion wave. Um, but if you just take it out first, it's the easy one to take out. It's some damage you can get done right away. And while you're killing it, your lightning shield will be damaging the other minions as well. So once you lunge at this, what's going to happen is the other minions are going to cluster around you. Kind of like that, right? So you kill the wizard minion first. While you're doing that, you plop down your Earthbind totem. Not Earthbind totem, I guess it's just your totem. Oh look, it came out nicer that time. And you're gonna put lightning shield on this as well. So you have the two lightning shields going on at the same time. Um, yeah, just attack the wizardman first and then the back archers. So that is one of Rehgar's huge advantages. Even in the late game, he can clear minions super fast, and the damage should definitely not be underrated at all. Oh, hold on, let me check this right here. Oh, thank you, Dark Storm and Peanut, for hosting me. Um, anyways, so that's laning real quick for Rehgar. Actually, I should just demonstrate it. Let's go into the try mode. Oh my goodness. The shop has so many items now. Alright. By the way, my favorite skin is the master screen middle skin. Alright. Let's put HOTS onto the screen. Perfect. Alright, and while we're loading, I guess I can talk a little bit more about Rehgar. So, Rehgar, I would say don't expect to have that great of heal numbers during the game, because his heal output, it's in bursts. Like he's a burst healer. You're not gonna have the same numbers as like Brightwing or Lucio. Obviously those. Oh, actually, hold on. Let me. How do I toggle the enemy? Oh, none. There we go. And no ally hero, please. Okay. Cool. So whatever. All right, lightning bond, level 1. Let's go. So I'm gonna jump to the back minion, and then use lightning bond to clear out the wave. See, like, look how fast that was. I don't know why my computer's not showing the timer, but that was really fast. It's a really easy technique that you can use, just dropping the what is it actually called? Oh, it is called Earthbind Totem. Yeah, just dropping the Earthbind Totem. I'll do it again. So lunge at the center, or not the center archer, and then alternate attacking. And yeah, super quick. This is what makes Rehgar so strong. And I guess next I'll talk about getting mercenary camps. So Rehgar is also fantastic for getting mercenary camps. Well, okay, not the boss, but for siege camps because of that lightning bond ability. So, for example, let's start here. Lunge at one of them, put it down, and you get the lightning bond. So the reason why you want to lunge first before putting down any abilities is to get the bonus damage from the lunge. If you're actually timing it correctly, like you just use lunge whenever it's available, right after an auto attack, it'll make him auto attack immediately. And it's just a ton of damage. So like even at level 1, Rehgar camps like really well. I wasn't even really paying attention too much. I was talking. But the siege camps are definitely huge, because if you're thinking about maps like Cursed Hollow or Warhead Junction, some of the bigger maps, especially Garden of Terror, Rehgar can finish the camp really quickly, and then because he can instantly mount up into the wolf form, just go straight to an objective, because the not bruisers, the siege camps pop up at the 2-minute point. So I'll just do the bruiser camp real quick for you. Bruiser camps are a little bit more tricky because they do overall more damage, and you're just gonna find that you have to heal yourself. So this wizard mercenary is the one that you should be taking out first, and then you just want to rotate auto attacking. So here we go, put that down, and then I believe wolf form is right there. So notice how the attack animation was super short. That's because I immediately used the wolf form attack after a basic attack, and that's kind of what you want to do as you get into a higher level of play with Rehgar. And I should really concentrate on doing this camp, but as you can see, like Rehgar, oh, actually I died. Okay, if I was concentrating a little more, you can do it. Definitely at level 1 is a challenge for Rehgar, but as you move later on into the game, it's really easy to clear. That was embarrassing that I just died with Rehgar. um, yeah, so that's how you can clear camps. I think I was like almost done anyway, but that's basically what you do, what you want to do, and of course that gets a lot easier at level 4 if you pick Healing Totem because you can just plop the Healing Totem down and heal yourself as you're doing the camp, and like usually you end up like being pretty healthy by the end of it. Um, in general, don't bruiser camp on your own because Rehgar is pretty vulnerable to getting ganked. But if you can do it safely and if it's advantageous for a team, go ahead and do it. I'd say if you're going to camp with Rehgar, stick to just doing siege camps because those are like super easy to do. But you know, let's actually go into talking about talents because I think I just went straight into how to wave clear with Rehgar. But Rehgar has a really diverse talent pool and there's a lot of different options you can go. Level 1, I already mentioned, take Lightning Bond. The only time I would go any of the other talents was if I was running a specific combo with my team. Um, and if they did not have enough damage, I guess, or if they didn't have enough crowd control. Um, but you know, almost always Lightning Bond. It's just so good on Rehgar. Because it's great in team fights as well. So level 4, I almost always pick Healing Totem because of the team comps that I generally run with Rehgar on the team. Now, that's not going to be your 100% go-to answer. There are some other options like Feral Heart and Stormwalker's Grace, although I hardly ever take Feral Heart. The mana regeneration is good, but I feel like it's not appealing enough to for me to take it over the other talents. So Healing Totem is my most picked one, and then it would be Spirit Walker's Grace and then Feral Heart. So Spirit Walker's Grace is really, really good, especially when you combo it with, I believe, level 13 Tidal Waves. Reduce chain heals cooldown by 1 second for each hero healed. Um, it works really well in conjunction with that if you're finding that you need to constantly put out healing, especially if the enemy team has a lot of burst damage. So that is especially when you want to take Spirit Walker's Grace because you are going to need that mana reduction later on in the game. Um, but the reason why I really like Healing Totem is because it's manaless, it's a 30-second cooldown, and it heals maximum 20% of any allied's health. 20% for free on a 30-second cooldown is just a ton of healing, and I would rarely pass it up. And another great thing about Healing Totem is it also serves as a vision ward if you want to use it that way. Now, you don't always want to use it that way, but vision is super important a lot of the time. So actually, let me demonstrate that right now. Let me actually just set my level to level 20. So I can just go through all the talents with you. All right, and close that window. So Lightning Bond level 1. Let's just take Healing Totem for now. So notice how I don't have vision over here. If I place the Healing Totem right there, it all of a sudden gives me this bubble of vision. Now, it's not serving its purpose of healing any unit. Like, it doesn't heal minions. Actually, oh, it is healing the minions. Oh, that's pretty cool. Heals allies. Oh, okay, cool. Guess it does heal minions. But that's funny. It's really good to use as a ward when you need it in that situation. If the enemy team has a lot of gank-focused heroes, and if you're already full health, your allies are already pretty healthy, and you don't need it, just use it as a vision ward. It's pretty useful. So for example, right now I don't see any of this area. I'm just going to place a ward here. And now, like, even if I go back, I have vision over this huge area. It's just super useful in that application. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, it does make camping a headset keeps turning off. It makes camping a lot easier and a lot safer because even if an enemy team were to appear, you have that Healing Totem and you can even use it as a ward. So like, I'm just waiting for it to come off cooldown. Let's say I'm doing a camp right here. I can place the ward like right here. So I can do the camp, still get healing, and I have vision over this top area. So it'll allow me to see if enemy heroes are coming in to gank me. And that's one of the biggest utility items in Rehgar's kit. And that's why I take Healing Totem most of the time. Not to say you can't take Spirit Walker's Grace, but Healing Totem just has a lot of different benefits. Let's move on to level 7. All right, now, because of how the game is played, because of the meta, because of how many characters have crowd control, you're almost always going to want to take Cleanse. It's just the clear answer. Let's say if someone's getting pulled and about to get stunned by Kerrigan, cleanse them, walk away for free. Let's say someone's about to get hit by a Ragnaros Sulfur Smash, cleanse them, they walk away for free. I mean, they'll still take damage, but they won't be stunned or slowed. The only time I would take anything else is if I were taking Blood and Thunder. Excuse me, which reduces the basic ability cooldowns by 2 seconds every time you hit an enemy or just hit anything with Ghost Wolf. And the only time I would take that is if the enemy team doesn't have any crowd control or has crowd control that's very difficult to land. So I would say, for example, enemy team with no crowd control at all except for like Ragnaros Sulfurous Smash. Now that's not exactly a great example, but like that's only one form of crowd control. I mean, it is a really big example, but like I don't know, I can't think of one right now. Or maybe the enemy team just has no stuns at all. Then definitely pick Blood and Thunder. Um, the advantage to picking Blood and Thunder is it'll allow you to increase your healing output, increase your damage output, and increase crowd control because by reducing all of your ability cooldowns by 2 seconds, I mean, these are like kind of long cooldowns, like 9 seconds, 8 seconds, and 15 seconds. But the reason why their cooldowns are so long is because they're all area of effect related. Like, Chain Heal heals up to 3 different heroes. Um, Lightning Shield deals damage in an area. If you have Lightning Bond, you can do double that damage. And it's a lot. Like you saw earlier how fast we cleared the minion wave. Earthbind Totem slows enemies in an area by 35%. That is a huge amount. That's because mount speed is 30%. So if you're slowing enemies by 35%, it's as if you're even faster than being mounted, chasing the enemy team. So if you take Blood and Thunder, you're going to be able to reduce those cooldowns, get a higher output of healing, especially if you go Spirit Walker's Grace, reducing the Chain Heal mana cost. That's going to put you really high in terms of heal numbers if you're going for heal numbers. But again, heal numbers is not what Rehgar is all about. Rehgar is more of a team fight healer, utility. Yeah, really just utility for the team. Anyways, let's move on to his heroics. Okay, so his heroics are pretty huge. Ancestral Heal is one of the most clutch heroics in the game. So after, I think it's 1 second. Yeah, after 1 second, you're going to burst heal an allied hero for a ton of health. It'll usually fill up the health bar of like most heroes, except for maybe like tanks and maybe bruisers. But it's a really good way to turn a fight around. These minions are bothering. So I'll just demonstrate again how quickly Rehgar can clear minions. Look at that. Instant clear. Pop a totem there for them. It can really turn team fights around, especially if the enemy team is focusing down one of your allies. Ancestral Healing is really great for that. And it's a great counter to burst damage at times. Although I feel like it's more easily used when the enemy team is sustained damage because you don't have to do that many quick calculations in my head. I just realized it shows that I'm level 3. Anyways, Ancestral Heal is almost always the way to go because if you think about Bloodlust, it looks appealing, right? Grant nearby allies 40% attack speed, that's huge buff in damage, 25% movement speed, and causes them to heal for 30% of basic attack damage to their primary target. So doing this can actually have higher heal numbers or give you higher heal numbers than if you were to take Ancestral Healing, just because of the mechanics of the heroic. But the thing is, to make the most out of Bloodlust, you're going to be taking a primarily auto attack based team. And the dangers of that in a drafting environment is that it can be easily countered. So if you're playing against an Artanis, against a Johanna, against a Lily, that's going to negate a lot of the potential healing that you could do from Bloodlust, and that's going to leave your allies in a vulnerable spot. Now, not to say that it can't work, um, because it definitely can, even sometimes against those comps, because it's really great for ganking or catching hero enemy teams off guard. Um, but Ancestral Healing is just such an impactful heroic because it allows you to choose a specific target, how much to heal them, especially if they're really low and running away. It allows them to instantly jump back into the team fight almost full health. Um, Man, I don't even know what else to say. I mean, there are different strategies for how to use ancestral healing, but I also don't want to go too far over time because we're actually almost at the halfway point. But let's move on. I'll leave the hero picks to you because it is kind of like a comp-based decision. Level 13, I think all three of these talents are actually pretty viable. Um, Earth Shield, Lightning Shield gives a shield for 12% of maximum health for 3 seconds. That goes really well with like double tank teams, or like a tank and a bruiser team. Tidal waves reduce chain heal cooldown. That'll be really good for, what was I gonna say? Oh, that's really strong in really long team fights. So, well, actually, I would say it's more advantageous in burst team fights. So let's say if the enemy team has a really high burst damage team. So let's say they have like a Jaina plus a Kerrigan plus a Chromie, something. Just high burst damage. If your team is relatively clustered nearby, remember that chain heal heals up to 3 targets, I believe. Pretty sure, unless like you buff it for something. Yeah, up to 3 targets. You're gonna be reducing um the cooldown by 3. Cooldown by 3. So that's now a 6-second cooldown on your chain heal. That's going to be really advantageous in those burst healing team fights. Couple that with at level 4 Spirit Walker's Grace reducing chain heal mana cost. And then even further, if you go Blood and Thunder, that's going to allow you to put out a ton of healing really quickly. Of course, you will lose out some utility by going that build, but if you are playing against a really high burst damage team, that is a viable way to go. More often than not, I actually pick Earth Living Enchant. When Chain Heal heals a hero below 50%, they are healed for an additional 438 health over 5 seconds. So over 5 seconds is an important thing to note. Um, One of the reasons why I really love taking this talent, even though it might not be as competitively viable as like Earth Shield or Tidal Waves, for example, is because it gives you a higher health to mana spent ratio, or a higher healing per mana spent ratio. And that's gonna allow your allies to stay healthy in really long team fights. Um, and you're just gonna get more healing for your mana, right? Let's say you're in a really long team fight against like an Illidan, or actually Sonya is semi-burst, but let's just say all around enemy has like sustained team fighting. Like so against a Vala, for example. This is going to give you a ton of healing, and you can prioritize which hero obviously gets the most healing, right? The first target gets most of the healing, and it bounces to 2 more targets, and those 2 targets get half. So if you notice here, restores to the bounced targets, it restores 366 health. And Earth Living Enchant can give them a bonus 438. This is at level 20 supposedly. That's a ton of bonus healing, and it's going to allow your team to stay really healthy in long engagements, which Rehgar typically isn't good for, but this will kind of make up for that. It just makes for a more balanced team fight. Now, I would say Earth Shield is a more competitive talent pick because you're basically giving a single ally 12% maximum shield. If you put that on a Diablo, that is a ton of health. And that's also going to be immediately 12%. So that's really good for clutch save. It's going to be really good for clutch saving an ally, for example. Um, it's more of that clutch role that Rehgar kind of fills. Um, but keep in mind that's only for 3 seconds. It's not like permanent healing. It's not going to give you the same numbers as Tidal Waves or Earth Living Enchant, but it's really good for engages, which Rehgar's team usually fits into. Just because he's usually on double warrior teams, which I will cover in the second half. Level 16, I would take. I mean, it's really subjective. It really depends on the team fight, but usually you're gonna take Earthbind Totem, Earth Grasp Totem, increase the slow to 90% for 1 second, because it's going to turn into an almost AoE stun. I mean, obviously the enemy team is not stunned; they're gonna be able to use their abilities, but their position is pretty much locked for that 1 second in an area. So that's gonna really allow your allies to close in, position themselves favorably or however they want, body block the enemy team. It's just a ton of utility, and since Rehgar is often on the front line anyway, he's going to be in a good position to put that Earth Grasp totem. So, Hunger of the Wolf, Ghost Wolf attacks do extra damage and heal. This is a really good option if you're having to frontline a lot with Rehgar. So let's say your team only drafted one warrior, and you have to constantly be in the front line to protect like your back line. This is a really good option for that because it will, one, allow Rehgar to heal for free, two, deal a ton of damage. So it's really great against enemy teams that have a lot of health, especially like in Azmodan. Um, and it's just an overall really strong talent. Now you won't be able to use that often in a fight because I don't know what's the cooldown for Ghost Wolf. It's probably like 5 seconds. Um, so you will get some burst healing here and there, but just remember that's not sustained healing. Um, and that's also only single target damage. But if you are having to frontline with Rehgar, that's a good option. And it definitely makes your damage a little scarier. Rising Storm, every time Lightning Shield damages an enemy hero, increase that Lightning Shield's damage by 10%, stacks up to 20 times. Now, the thing is with this talent, it's great with Lightning Bond, but it doesn't buff the Lightning Bonded Shield, if that makes sense. It just allows an increase in overall damage output. So let's say you have an ally. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna switch back to the iPad. If I can get it on. All right, switching back to the iPad. Okay. Um, let's erase all of this. All right, cool. Wait, wait, is this working? Hold on. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I need to reconnect my iPad actually. Okay, there we go. Okay, so back to a team fight. Let's say um this is, say you have like two enemy. Nah, let's say this is the enemy team. This is their front line. Okay. And let's say you have a tank with you and a bruiser, and maybe you're like hanging out right here, and then here's your back line, right? Just doing damage from afar. Okay, what's really strong about that? What was it called again? Rising Storm is if if you cast Rising Storm on one of those frontline heroes and he's able to do damage to or stand in the area of two enemy heroes, that's gonna keep increasing in damage and chunk out a lot of their health. On top of that, you can transition into Ghost Wolf form and lunge into the front line because you have the whatchamacallit, the lightning shield on you as well from lightning bond. You're going to be doing your standard lightning shield damage from you and then increasing damage from the ally that has the lightning shield on them. So it's a great way to actually get a ton of damage on the tanks first if they have a really beefy front line. And overall, it's actually a good option in general because, like, let's say even if you have to cast it on yourself, it makes you a really strong 1v1 contender because you also have healing. But let's pretend there's like an enemy that's like running away, right? And let's say they're not mounted. You have you, and you have an ally who's like slightly behind you. So you're gonna actually move a little bit faster because you're in Ghost Wolf form, and your ally is like catching up like walking speed. What you're gonna be able to do is lunge from your Ghost Wolf form, place your totem. I don't know why I'm trying hard to make this look nice. Place your totem, and that's gonna slow the enemy team down. Actually, let me just check. It doesn't have to be. Yeah, you can cast it on anything. You can cast Lightning Shield on anything for the Rising Storm to work. Yeah. So you're gonna catch up to them, put your totem down, shield the totem, and then that way the enemy hero is taking damage from you and from the totem, the Rising Storm extra damage as your ally catches up. Now, of course, you can apply that strategy anytime regardless with Rehgar, like just catching up in Ghost Wolf form, putting down a totem to slow, and then getting. Oh my gosh, I can't talk today. Getting the shield down. I mean, it's just one of the strong traits about Rehgar. He's really great with chasing with a team, so that's why he also fits into really good dive comps. But I think we are at the halfway point. I think. Let me just check the time. Yeah. Okay. So we're at the halfway point of this episode. If you are watching live on Twitch, we're gonna continue on in just a moment. Um, but for those of you who are watching on YouTube, if you want access to the full hour session, just head over to patreon.com/Nexus Raiders. That's patreon.com/NEXUSRAIDERS. If you want access to, wait, actually I just said that. Become a patron on Patreon. All patrons, regardless of pledge tier, get access to these Hero 101 sessions. So be sure to become a patron if you aren't one already. And of course, like as I mentioned earlier, we'll be sending the MP3s and all of that good stuff. One more time, a huge thank you to all of our patrons for making this series possible. And just a reminder to check your emails for the private link to this session's video and a downloadable MP3 version as well. So good luck, have fun, and never game alone.